What's up, guys? It's Tyler from House of Cards TCG, and we played day one. We went X3-1, lost in round 9, so we were X2-1 going up into round 9. All 3 losses came to cash. You know, the deck was well built to beat everything. I guess I should have put more in deck to beat cash, to be honest with you, because I had 4 matchups, 3 losses, all came to cash. Didn't play any Labyrinth, Math Mag, Mirror matches, Branded, all that, which is really good with the Bystials, and I expected that. So basically just underprepared for cash in the deck. Otherwise, it was a great list, and it has a little spice, so you should check it out because this is more Bystial Control. Deck played really well, and I like the deck, and I'm gonna continue into the next format. So let's talk about this Synchro Bystial Control deck that I've updated since cutting the Adventure Engine. So start out, we have 3 Saferd.
Hold up a little bit.
You done yet? All right. So Saferd is. Yeah. There we go. So Saferd is insane because you can go Magma Mud, search at end phase, and if you can even do that in like battle phase or main phase too. If they can't out your Magma at end phase, you can search Saferd, and you can just normal it, and they don't have interruption. You just make Chaos Angel with a light and dark, and your opponent just can't do anything. It's actually really great. Sword Soul has a problem dealing with that because they get in with the Worm and the Shishao, and you just search Saferd, normal it, and then you just make Chaos Angel. The only other normal I have is the Black Metal and Redness Darkness. I didn't want to cut these 2 because Red MD did come up where they nib me on my seal because I think I'm going full power Dragon Link with the Romulus and the Pisty and the Quad Boral, Triple Burst, all that stuff. So then they'll just nib me on my seal. I'll bring out Magma, or I'll bring out Red MD, bring out another Dragon, make seal anyway. I just get a free token out of it. So it's pretty great. So I didn't want to cut that. Then we play 3 Chaos Space, standard with the Baby Dragons. These cards are insane. And then Leviair. Leviair, to be able to search it in phase off Magma is insane. Your opponent just looks at you like, oh, okay, that's a card. You just banish the Light and Dark and pop 2 non-targeting, and it's awesome. And I only played 2 Lebellion because I didn't want to brick on playing 3. And if I played cash, then I can't send it to graveyard anyway. And also, I never sided out Lebellion or Chaos Space even going into cash. Just one of those things. I did play heavy Bystial, so I played 3 Magma, 1 Soraneer, 1 Druis Worm, and 1 Valdrake. Valdrake was insane. A lot of times off the seal bounce, if I wanted to, I could bring out Valdrake to be another interruption versus Magma if I already had board presence. And then just whenever they go into Extract Monster, you tribute a Light or Dark and you banish it. It's just crazy. So Valdrake was important in the deck. I did sometimes side it out, a lot of times side it out going second, but all the Bystials really insane. I played Regained and Beast in the main. The cards are crazy. If you can set up these 2 cards, you're just going to win unless they out them. One of my cash players heartbeat me, which sucked, but it happens. These cards are just crazy. And then Ravine. And what also is cool about this deck is you only play 5 spells, so my opponents would side anti-spell against me. I only play 5 spells. It was great. Or they would, if it was Labyrinth, I've seen Shane where we were testing where he would go Eradicator, and I would have no spells in hand. So that was in testing. I never actually played a Labyrinth, which I wish I would have. For your random dragons that are in deck, you have Ring of Worm. This is a search target. This card can be crazy. If you already have a Lebellion ready to go, you could just make a Despotter, or you could just make a Barone. So you can literally, this again, another card you could just normal summon, make Barone. Now you just deal with your opponent's interactions that they've set up on their board. And then Albaz. Albaz is crazy. You'll play Mirror Jade, Lebellion, Albion, so you can deal with a Light, a Dark, or an extra deck monster. You can even search this at in phase, which I don't see a lot of Dragon players doing. So being able to in phase search Albaz and then just normal summoning it again. So you can see like your normal summons, I just have Saferd and 1 Black Metal, because sometimes I'm normal summoning Albaz and using effect, dealing with an interruption or dealing with something, forcing something, or I'm just gonna normal summon this and make like a Despotter or make a Barone. So it was crazy there. And then for the Spice, this card was insane. I absolutely love this card. It's 3 Stardust Synchron. I didn't want to play Tuning because then I would play in a Droll. The Stardust Synchron is crazy because you can't search it, but if you have it in hand, you can pitch it off of Chaos Space, or you can pitch it off of the Dragon Ravine. It's basically a free discard. And what it does is, if you don't see your Bystial engine, you can just make Seal, tribute Seal with Stardust Synchron, and then special summon this card. Seal effect will then activate, bring out Magma, Magma search at end phase. Then you can make Despotter. This card gets banished, and then you could go ahead and bring this card back, and then you could Despotter, or if you have another Bystial, if you have another way to get to 6, you make a Barone. Like I did that against Sword Soul. It's crazy. So like what you can do with this card, or if you want, you can bring back a Saferd, and then you can have Saferd back into your graveyard if you had to banish it to go into your baby dragons. So this card was crazy. MVP, I love this card. It's played very well into the deck. And if you want to, you can normal summon this again and just make a Synchro 10 if you have a Bystial on the field. So this card was crazy. Thoroughly enjoyed having this card, and definitely play it going forward. For hand traps, we played 14 hand traps. It's a control deck. That was the big part of this deck. So I played 2 Ogre, 3 Ash, 3 Droll and Lockbird, 3 Gamma, and then I also played 3 Imperm. So I played a ton of hand traps just to try to control my opponent. The hand traps were all great. Ogre was kind of bad. I didn't play any super heavy. I played 1 Pearly. The rest is all like cash, Flow Under Ease, Rune It. I mean, it's crazy stuff. So like, it is what it is. It's a new format. Ogre's going away anyway, so it doesn't matter. But anyway, my deck was built to beat Branded Labyrinth, Math Mech, and I just saw none of them. And unfortunately, I got 3 losses to cash. So I should have decided maybe put something else instead of Ogre. I should have played something to beat cash. Extra deck, 1 Striker Dragon, nothing else. Again, this is just a bluff to make people think that I'm on Dragon Link, and then they'll think that I have Boot Sector in hand when it's actually a hand trap, and it's fantastic. And then we played 1 Romulus, 2 Seal, because you need 2 Seal. Seal's just amazing in this deck. 1 Dark Charmer came up a lot. Actually, was able to Dark Charmer, take Per Lily, then go into Unicorn Access Code, and then I had to force a Noir. And then he activated Noir to spin back my access code, and I chained the Ogre to pop it. And it was great because I added the Noir that way, because access code gets big enough to beat it over it. Unicorn access code, this is all good. That's just generic removal that you want to play. I played Scarlight for time. I could have made it against Pearly, was my only draw. And I realized I could have made it. Shane and I added this the night before. And I kind of forgot that it was in my extra deck because we added it the night before and I had tested with it. And so it came up where I could have not gotten that draw against Pearly, and I could have won in time with Scarlight, but I forgot that it was even in the extra deck, and that's my fault. I still set up board presence. I would have won game 3, but we went into time. Excel and Baron, you play Gamma, so you got to play this. Beats Shifter, beats cards. Dispotter, card's crazy, can also be brought back by Regained, and it especially summons a lighter dark from your graveyard. And what your opponents don't realize is when they go Prosperity or they go Extravagance, the Dispotter shuffles any banished card, so you can still negate a monster effect even if it's face down. So it's good against Kashtira, good against Labyrinth that way. Chaos Angel is just cracked, especially in this deck because you make it with a light and dark, so it can't be it's unaffected by activated effects, and all your monsters can't be destroyed by battle, including Sealed. So if you can make Chaos Angel, they can't even battle over Sealed, which is crazy. And then I played the package here. This package was crazy. And going forward, I still think that the Albaz package is really good. I think being able to Seal, bring out Albaz, or in-face search Albaz and just normal summon it and just deal with your opponent is just crazy. They never see it coming. Just like when you search Legionnaire. But side deck, 3 Kurikara. This card was crazy. My 1 win against Cash was with this. And then we have 2 Radiant, so 5 ways to just deal with Pearly and deal with Kashtira. It didn't matter because I still lost 3 rounds to Kashtira, so it is what it is. 1 Bell, I do a spreadsheet and it just came up where I just had a flex spot, and Bell actually came up. Didn't matter because my matchups didn't matter in any of that, but Bell was cool. And I played the 3rd Ogre in case I want to get super heavy. Hardly sided it in. This card did come up, which is Phantasme. I played 2 Phantasme. It's also a dragon, so in this deck, being able to link it off is really good. And if your opponent goes to target it, you can just discard a card, which you can discard like a Stardust Synchron or something like a Chaos Space that's extra in your hand. And it helps to get Lights and Darks from the grave. So the Phantasme is really good in that sense. And it's a dragon that you can just link off with anything in your extra deck. 3 talents. Maybe the Ogre should have been talents in the main deck, and that would have been really impactful, especially against Kashtira. So I think that would have been the only switch though. The main talents was just insane. Looking at hands, I hardly ever drew 2. I just looked at hands because it's a control deck, and when you know your opponent is playing and what's in their hand, you just win. 2 Cosmics, which is really good, and then 1 Etude. Art never even came in, so honestly shouldn't have played it. In the beginning when I played Bystial Adventure, the card was cracked. This card just never comes up because it's a hand trap format and it's hard to get to that. So overall, great deck list. Should have been talents. I should have prepared more in the deck for Kashtira against the other stuff. So that's it. X31 and great deck list. This has been Tyler with House of Cards TCG, signing out.